canola farmers, welcome back to Hinterland. This was the canola field, but in between episodes I plowed it. Well, I had a worker plow it, and we're spreading some lime into it. I want to get this ready for next month, which we're going to get to, I do believe, this episode. I want to plant some barley, because I was looking at the calendar, and barley is the earliest crop next year that we can harvest that will give us straw. And of course, we need straw for the cows for bedding to get manure. And manure is going to be kind of key for us because we'll be bringing that to a BGA to, of course, give us some wonderful, wonderful cash. BGA, you say? What BGA? Well, we haven't bought it yet, but we're going to probably this episode. Like I said, I would like to get to the month of September this episode. I don't have much more to do this month other than I think I'm just going to buy the crucial stuff that I think we need and then pay off the money that we do have. That way our loan interest isn't so big. And then, as we go along, if I need to borrow money, we can. I shouldn't need to borrow back up to $10 million again, so that should be okay. But, yeah, we'll buy a few things and move on to the month of September. So we can go ahead and plant some barley. We are going to make another field today, I think, as well. So I can get some barley planted in a big field and give us a lot of straw next year. I think we're even going to go ahead and buy some cows today as well. I don't have many straw bales. I don't have any silage, but I was looking at the Maizeplus add-on food, and all 4 food groups can be covered for the cows with conditioned grass, which is like the easiest grass that we can get. You just mow it on up and make conditioned grass. So that field is ready to be planted in, so that's all good to go. I did finish up the grass field over there. That's all planted, ready to go. I leveled the land and smoothed it around the shed. And of course, I put down gravel because it was kind of hard to see what I was doing with the meadow grass being down. I was trying to pick out the driving pattern, the gravel that we want down. Did I want asphalt, concrete? And I just went with regular gravel here. So this is the gravel we have here. So as you saw, nice smooth in, smooth out kind of driving. So that's all good and ready to go. So let's go ahead and spend some more money. So another thing we need around here is a workshop. And the workshop we're going to be using is from Elk Mountain Modding again. Well, I mean again, because we got their house. But this is a ranch workshop, which I believe I'll have to get from their Facebook page. I haven't used this one before. But we're just going to go ahead and throw it down. Expensive workshop, I know. People are going to say, well, you got the Hinterland mod. You can see it right next to us for $100. But we're going for kind of like looks on this one. Money's not really the main thing on here. We're going to have a $10 million loan. So I think the workshop going here would be good. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to put it here. I'm just trying to get it so I can, why would it flicker around like that? I'm just trying to see how well we're lined up to the shed here. I wish it would stop snapping somewhere else for a second. That's pretty close. So we're going to put that on down. You're going to snap when I click. I know you are. Don't do it. So I'm paying pretty good amount in landscaping fees. Let me go to landscaping here, because it was kind of a pain to get that smooth around the big shed. So let me go ahead and smooth this out nice and flat. Ooh, I don't own that land over there. Oh, I don't own the way down to the road. All right. We'll smooth it out here. Is that the land I was going to buy anyways? I don't think so. Or was it? No, because that... I'm sitting here, so I don't own that land? I'm sure we do. Well, since we're here, I do want to buy this lot right here. So let's go ahead and buy that one. And it seems like we're having issues, so we're just go ahead and buy this one as well. I'm buying a lot of water areas that we don't really need. But that's okay. I don't want to say it's only 80,000. I think we'll be doing fine in the long run, money-wise here. But yeah, it's only 80,000. Landscaping. Let's go back to smoothing here. Now can I smooth that out quite a bit, please? There we go. We should be fine. Okay, now back to buildings, tools. Of course, now I got to square this up again. It might be kind of square already. All right, somewhere around there. Now it's 150. I don't know why it's still snapping and doing that. It might be my steering wheel doing that. Does the steering wheel do that? No, steering wheel has nothing to do with that, so I don't know why it keeps snapping like that. You stay right there. Thank you. Good. It went where I wanted it to. All right, so now we have a workstation. I can smooth this out later on. Do I have the interactive zone markers on? I probably have them turned off because I was just on East Vineland recording that episode. Turn those on, so... Hello. Got a main office here. I prefer Pepsi, but okay. Nice little safe in there. Looks like he was looking at some John Deere stuff, the previous person using the PC. Close that on up. So where is the trigger for the work? Well, it's right there. So my guess is I gotta pull it in, not pull it in, but maybe park it out here. Something like that. We can give it a try later on. We'll bring something over and repair it. But I love how all these doors open. This is very, very, very nice. All right, so we do got that. So that's good to go. The next thing we want to do is let's head on over to our production buildings and let's spend a good amount of cash. So we got our spinnery over here. So someone did mention that on the spinnery, since the material is staying here, you don't need to put it on distribute. You just got to leave it on storing. Kind of like I did on East Vineland, if you've been watching that series. Like I put on the fuel refinery, we're making methane from material. And the production building can also take methane and make energy. So as long as you got it on storing, it'll stay in here. So basically, I should show it up here somewhere, I would think. Maybe it won't, but maybe I have to get it in. Oh, I got to be on the right product first. That'd be helpful. So this is outgoing products, incoming material. Yes. So it'll stay here, and the fabric will show up here, and then clothing will go here. So it'll be all fine for that. So another person did ask for productions. Can we do maple syrup? We did maple syrup on No Man's Land. I do like the idea of maple syrup, and there might be another maple syrup production building. The one I used, I like the idea. I just didn't like it because the input was wood, which is fine, and the other input was water, which doesn't make sense to me because to make maple syrup, you're actually extracting water from the sap to make the maple syrup. So it seemed kind of weird to add water, but we did make maple syrup there, and I just don't think we're going to do it here unless I try a different mod. We may do so. We need to go into productions. And the next thing I want to put down, I think since we're doing clothing here, the next thing we're going to put down here, if I can find it, is straw processing. So if we get an excess amount of straw, and we may, we can make straw hats, and I forgot what the other product is called. I know it's straw hats and something else. We need to put this facing towards the front of the road. So we'll kind of have it like facing like right here. Now I'm going to do something like I did in No Man's Land where I'll have like a little parking lot for them, some lights, maybe put some cars in there afterwards, but there we go. There is that. So if we come on down to here, straw accessories and straw crates. Okay, I thought it was just a straw hat, but it's straw accessories and straw crates we'll make. So we got to put water and straw in there, of course, to make it. That's all we need to do. And there we have that. The BGA is going to be next. Now, this is a modded one. Like I said, all the mods should be in the mod link down below. By the way, I don't think I mentioned it last episode, but that mod link should be working now. In the episode number 1, I had the link set to private, but that should be fixed. So if you're on episode 1, that should be the correct link now as well. Do I want to put this closer to the cow? We don't own all the land. We don't own this land over here. That's why it says land not owned by you, Peanut. So how about moving your BGA on down a bit? Do I want to put it next to the straw facility, or do I want to put it on the other side here? Do I own the land over here? No, we don't own that far over. All right, so I guess for now, boy, we're really scrunching it in there. Ooh, we own it over here by the water. Can I squeeze it in there and make it look good? No, I can't. I cannot. All right, so before we put that down, because I don't like where I'm putting it anywhere, let's go ahead and buy some more farmland. I think we'll buy just lot number 36. How about that? All right, production's industrial BGA. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out, this should be the front and the road's going to be over there. So how about we kind of put it like in here? Yeah, that should be good, like right there. Kind of like right next to the trees. And then, of course, we can, of course, put a parking lot in later on. Not a parking lot, but a paving area so we can drive in, drive out. So the cows will be making slurry and manure. We'll be bringing that over here to be processed. I'm not going to use that for fertilizer. We're just going to stick with artificial fertilizer on the fields. And, of course, make some money from the BGA, make electricity, all that good stuff. And, of course, the milk. Now we need a milk production. And that should probably... I think we can fit that over here by the straw hats. I think that's where that should go. Or do I want to make a road going through here? Yeah, since we own this property in here, let's go ahead and put it like somewhere in here. And what we can do is I can make a road cutting through by the straw processing and go over to the BGA. And we can put some more production buildings in here for the future. So this is going to be the standard in-game milk production building. We can always upgrade it because we do have the factory upgrades mod. There is a building there. I don't know what that is all about. But how about if we just put it... I can't put it too far back because I got to remember where stuff spawns. I can see where we drop it off, which is this on the left-hand side there, and it should spawn towards the back. So let's go ahead and just put it like, I don't know, right there. We'll try that. Ooh, no, I'm just about standing in it already. Yeah, this is the drop-off, and if I remember correctly, yep, it'll spawn out back here. Got plenty and plenty of room. Well, there's just about half of the money that we borrow, 10 million. So, yeah, I'm okay with that because we got all the initial production buildings down, I believe. So we're good there. All right, so now we need to buy a few things in the store. Need to go to trailers. We are going to need a water tanker for the cow barn. So let's go ahead and grab a water tanker. We'll just grab the standard one. I'm not going to upgrade this. What does that go up to? 250,000, I think. Yeah, we don't need that much. It'd be nice, but let's go ahead and keep it there. And let's see here. Main color. Well, it's going to be... I think I'll probably get a different tanker for water and milk in the future. So maybe just go with a standard blue. To let me know that's for water. And I don't think we need anything else there at all. Just your standard tanker. Yeah, let's go ahead and buy that. Alright, and I'm not going to buy an animal trailer yet. But let's go ahead and grab the truck, wherever that may be right now. I have no idea where the truck is. There it is. Alright, let's go grab the water tanker. And let's go ahead and get some water into that. And we'll bring it over to the cow barn. And I think we're just going to buy 2 cows to start with. Just 2. Going to keep it real simple. Because I only got 3 bales of straw. So it's going to take those 2 cows a long time for them to have offspring. Little baby calves. So we should be able to keep up with 2 cows for a bit until next year when we have a whole bunch of straw. Now, from also seeing the silage bales that we made, I've been keeping an eye on them. I think it will be 3 months for them to ferment into silage. So that should be good until wintertime before we can make some TMR. We're going to have to make some hay bales. because the mixture would be hay and silage. Going to keep it kind of simple. But conditioned grass should be fine for the cows until then. This is one thing I did not test. Can I get the water from here or not? And there's plenty of water around here. Alright, do I need to open the container before I can fill it? Can I not get water from here? So this is interesting. I was not expecting to not be able to get water from the lake or the pond. Is it just that one? Let's go over to... There's one over here. Let me try this one. Now these are not... This area is not deep here, I don't think. And I'm not getting the option to fill up any water. Okay. That's interesting. Let's see here. I guess... I wonder if I got the open air garden mod installed. If I do... That would be under construction. Is that under tools? Is that under container? Do I even have it installed? That's fuel storage. Water storage tanks for filling animal water. I never used that one before. Do I get water from that water storage tank? Well, it's only $1,000. I guess I could put it on down to see if I actually get water from it. Where would I put it, though? That'd be in the way. I think I'll just put it there for now. I don't know how this works. Do I have to fill this with water to get water, or can I just get water from it? Start filling. Okay, the good news is I don't have to pay for it. Yeah, so the doors on this tanker do have to be open to be filling. I just couldn't get water from the lake. That is interesting. Alright, so where is the animal trigger for this cow barn? Over here. And we're getting ourselves some Holsteins. 18 months old, 12 months old. So any that are healthy and older than 18 months can reproduce. Alright, we're just going to get 2 of them. There's 1. And there's 2. Now, they should be grazing from the grass. So this, I think in a while, we'll fill up with some grass right here. Fingers crossed. I can't jump through that, can I? No, I cannot. Does these doors open? Nope, they don't. I didn't really go into the barn. I just like the looks of it. So we'll get our slurry from here. There is some bale storage there. Of course, we feed them from here. The straw needs to go in there, which is kind of interesting because these doors don't open. So I guess I'll have to bring something in through the gates and then around to bring the straw in. That's going to be a lot of straw. And that is still filling on up. Alright, we'll let that fill up. Let's go grab the Voltra. And I'll grab some straw bales. Well, I'll have to grab a straw bale. This kind of needs a weight in the back of it to be able to pick up more than one. Now, I did test it. I don't actually have to shred a straw bale for it to go into this cow barn. So that's a plus. But I do actually have to get it in there. So we'll see how this goes. So this grass should be growing tomorrow. And the yield looks like it'll be pretty darn good. Yeah, I have to get away from this vulture so I can grab a couple of bales at a time. So it seems like the series is going pretty good. People seem to be like what we're going to be doing here. It's going to take a while to kind of get it going, just like any farm, though. I think I just talked about this on, like on Solyndra. It takes a while to get, you got to spend a lot of money before you make money. So can I? No, that's right. I was like, can I cheese the system by like getting this, tossing the bale in there? Since there is like a gate in the front, a bale's not going to get shoved through there. Yeah, it's too bad these doors don't open though. So yeah, we got to come in here, I guess. And they should be taking some straw. And they did. It's going to be kind of hard to see because this cow barn does hold... let me double check on this. 250? 240. So they should be able to take a lot of straw. But that is a start. So yeah, I'm going to have to come in here. I wonder if a bale shredder would be able to shred the bale that far. I wonder if the trigger is actually far enough outside where it would be able to tell that it's there. We do got some straw in there. Now we just got to give it some time for the graze mod to kick in, and probably like at 1:15 right now. It's just a little bit past 12:30. Yeah, once we get 240 cows in here, it's going to be a lot of maintaining the cows. I think it's going to be something like Griffin, Indiana when we did that. Color scheme doesn't quite match up here, but, color code the tankers. That way you know which one's which. And you can see the water going on in. I think it's going to take the whole tanker. Let me just go ahead and fast forward time here. There we go. Top of the hour came, and you can see they got food in here. It's not going to look like a whole lot, but for 2 cows, that's quite a bit. But what we need to check, just because there's food in there, let's go on down to the cows. And yes, that covers all 4 food groups for the cows. Power food, moisture food, roughage, and base food. So conditioned grass is what we need to give the cows. I'm actually surprised that 2 cows... Well, that feed trough can hold whatever it can hold for 240 cows. So I guess it would take all the feed that's in here. So this should take care of the cows until wintertime. But we are going to need to make hay. And, of course, we are making silage bales. So to make some hay, we're going to need a couple of things here. We are going to need a tedder. Tedders... what is the biggest one in-game? The Pottinger 17 meter. Does that match up well with the windrower? That's 19 meters. That works out rather well. So while we're here, so the Swadro 2000, 18 meter wide. That's what we're going to get design. What's the different design? Standard, design 3. What am I looking at here? Standard, design 3. Let's get the standard. Yeah, we'll just get the standard. That's 74 grand. We'll buy that. And then we'll back up and we'll get that tedder, the Pottinger. 17 meters. That is to make some hay. That can do more than make hay. We'll get to that later on. But for now, the cows are good for a bit. Their health should go on up. And it didn't take all the water. But what I think I'll do to prep ourselves is, let's bring it back over here. I can always move this later on. It only costs $1,000, so I can always sell it and get it later on. If I turn the engine off, does that keep refilling? Ah, it does. Perfect. All right, so I think that is everything that I technically need to do for the month of August. The sheep are doing what the sheep are doing. They should be making some wool at some point. They'll take, well, okay, they're already making wool. Good for them. Yeah, so we got a bale here so they can take that. Yeah, I haven't got into the XML file yet to see or change the amount of feed that these sheep can take. But they are going to eat more than base games, so I'll have to keep our eye on that for a little bit. I can always edit the XML file on this and be fine with it. Let's turn that off. Let's see here. Am I all done for today? I got to double. Let me think about that. I'll bring it back, but I think we'll be going to the month of September. And if we do that, I'm going to go ahead and repay off all this loan so we don't have to pay a huge interest at midnight. Nope. I just want to check on the store. Yeah, nothing there. I don't think I'll be buying much secondhand. I just rather buy new stuff for this series. That way it doesn't wear down as fast as a used one would. But yeah, let me just take a couple, double check on a couple things here, and skip to the month of September. I don't know if that soybean will be ready for harvest, but if it is, and we'll be ready to go. So just one more thing I want to do for the month of August. I did bring the loan down to $6.5 million in the bank, so that leaves us with $1.4 million. But yeah, I want to go ahead and put down, first off, a shed over here. And it's going to be the one... Is it under Platinum Edition? No, it's this one right here. There we go. This is what we need. And let's see here. I got to figure out how exactly I want to do this. So I'm trying to picture where the road's going to go. So this shed is going to go like right there. It sounds good. So now we need to go into productions. And this is where we're going to be doing the seed potato production right here. Now you can, in the mod, buy a complete building with this in it. But I want easy access to get to the bags and all that it's going to produce. So we're going to go ahead and do it something like so. Oh, I can't do it at that angle because I can't. It's clipping on top of the shed. So I want to make sure. Yeah, the game doesn't like me trying to place this in there. Nope. Okay, fingers crossed. Nope. Oh, I almost clicked. There we go. So, when we do harvest potatoes, we'll be putting our potatoes in here. And, of course, out here, we're going to be making pig food. So, I do believe the pig food will come out this area here. The seed potatoes will come out here. And the premium potatoes shall come out here. And they'll come out in bags or pallets. I think I have the choice of either or. So, they'll be stockpiling up here. Another thing I want to put down over here next to this is a bunker silo. So back into construction silo, because we can actually store, with the Maizeplus mod, we can actually store sugar beet and potatoes into bunkers. How big? Ooh, that's a big bunker. I don't think I need one that big. I think that will work. So what I want to do is, because the production building can only hold 20,000 potatoes at a time. When we harvest the field, we're going to have a whole bunch of potatoes. So what I want to do is put the potatoes into our main silo back at the farm. And every once in a while, I'll bring potatoes over here and put them into this bunker. And then I could use a bucket loader to take the potatoes out of the silo bunker and keep dipping them into the production building. So that's what I want to do. Oh, these only snap at... Oh, I forgot about that. So this is going to look rather weird because it's not going to be perfectly square here. Oh, no. That is going to bug me. And everyone else. Why, Giants? Why are these only rotatable at 25, at 90 degrees? Well, what I will do is I'm going to place this down right here. And what I'll do is, let me write down the total in the bank account. And I'll have to redo this. But of course, if I sell it, I'm not going to get my full money back. But we have $947,043 in the bank account. So give me a moment. I'm going to delete this stuff, replace it back down to get it squared up. And our money should be looking exactly the same. Well, there we have it, all reset. I actually would have lost about $250,000 by selling the shed and the potato production and putting it back down. That's how much money I lost just for not having a place well. So we should be able to put potatoes in here in the future. And then, like I said, we'll get ourselves a nice big bucket loader. Probably the one from the Platinum Edition that holds 10,000 liters. That should be perfect for here because 20,000 liters that holds 2 bucket loads. Boom, you're done. Yeah, we're going to have some fun with that bucket loader, I think. And that production will go, and we'll make some money off the potatoes. So, yeah, just one more thing I want to show you here in the month of August before we move on. Something quick. Because I need to remove it before the grass grows, and I miss it. So, when I was planting the grass, the first couple times I went past it, I thought it was just a bird in the field that wasn't flying away. But there is a placeable over here, and right now it's in the middle of our, well, near the middle of our field. Where is it? Should be... There it is. Kind of blends right in. Nice little placeable right here. Let's go ahead and collect that. And $30,000, but we are going to remove those when we see it, or collect them. There we go. Took it right back on out. So that way, that collectible will not be in the way of us harvesting our grass. So a lot of spending so far, but that's good. You know, we're getting things that we need. That's a long run. Let's go ahead and just teleport right back on home. Yeah, I think we're all set. Don't need to be checking contracts in here. Weird looking bathtub, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and rise and shine. 8 o'clock sounds good. Animals should be all set. So let's skip to the month of September so we can start planting some barley. And then I'll start coursing out a field to make barley somewhere else. And we'll be getting that done this month. So loan interest is a lot higher than someone said. We'll just say $22,000 for loan interest. Yikes. All right. So, wow. $10 million would have been a lot. Let me teleport to... I think the case will be the one we're using. Just drop the plow off right there for now. It's not going to take me long, but let's go ahead and get the barley in. You can see the grass has grown. And let's back up to our horse seed drill. I did have a look on the Giants mod hub, and this is not on there. So I got to remember to go into the mods list and add that. But like I said, the website, I got them from way back when FS22 came out. That website's not working at all, so I don't know where else the mod author would have put it. But I'll leave the link there anyways in case you guys have some luck with it. I just keep getting that the link has timed out when I click on it. So I need to switch this over to barley. Wheat or barley, we both can plant today, but barley is 1 month earlier to harvest than the wheat. So sooner the better. This is just a small field, but the field's already here. We're going to use it for stuff and things. In the future, who knows? I mean, eventually I might put chickens down, and this could be an area where it goes, but for now, I think sheep and cows are the only things I want to go ahead and do on this map. Until they get used to Maizeplus and the Maizeplus add-on and how much these animals are actually going to eat and produce for us, we're going to have our hands full. I don't want to have all the animals on here because that just gets to be a lot of work. and a lot of taking care of things. Have to check on our sheep and the cows to see how much food they gone through. The cows I'm not too worried about. They got a big pasture, and that's going to slowly fill up with feed as they go along. The sheep, I can see the bale that was there is now gone. I don't think there was much left of that bale anyways. But, oh, wait a minute. No, the red light sometimes throws it off. They got a decent amount of grass, and actually it's almost a full pen, or full trough. 12,500 I think is what it is, and they're at 12,300. But yeah, I may go in the XML file, because once we get 195 sheep in there, they're going to go through that really quick, and 12,500 liters may only last like an hour or two. And I don't want to be going there every hour or two to have to put some kind of food in there. The only problem with doing that is, well, it's not really a problem. I use that pen, I'm actually using that pen on Cylindra, and I'm also using it on East Vineland as well. So, I mean, on those, I can just put as much food as I want in that trough, and it'll probably last the whole series. Here, it may last only 2 months. Yep, so that crop is not ready yet either. So that's going to be another month. Because I do have to rebuy a header, because the one I had, it worked fine. The problem is the color coordination between our harvester, which everyone seems to pretty much like the color. Yeah, having a red header with a, I don't know, like a dark blue? It's not even a dark blue. I don't even know how to even describe a Fent blue. We'll just call it the Fent blue. Yeah, that color coordination there was terrible, so that header had to go. I also been told on after last episode that someone is playing on this map, and they are using a Honeybee 45-foot header, and they are having some issues of small sections here and there. Of course, you know me, I'm probably going to go with a 60-foot. We'll see how big the fields are that I'm making. Now, I know I don't need to buy the header today because that field's not ready. We'll see how big a field we go and how big of a header I want to get. The bigger the header, the bigger the problems you might have with it. So, like, if you get over to where that forest is off in the distance, it does get a little bit hilly over there, so I think that header would have a couple of issues. Where we're working now, the land is pretty much flat. I think it worked fine. But, yeah, we'll worry about that another day. Still a lot of things here we need to do before winter comes. Got to make a few fields. That way, when spring comes, we're ready to go. Plant potatoes. A lot of wheat and barley to get some straw. We probably even do some oats as well. Because in 19, it used to be the testing that was done in 19, oats gave you more straw than wheat and barley did. I don't know if that holds true in the 22 or not. And eventually we will get some workers. I will say though, when I used a worker to plow this field, when the worker got done, it didn't say worker A, B, C, or D was done. It actually gave me a full name, and I think there is a mod on the Giants Mod Hub that does that, but I don't have that downloaded, so it might be part of the map. Although it's been a long time since I used an in-game worker. So, I actually used an in-game worker. I did not use Courseplay to get this field plowed. I thought I was doing half the field, and I thought I need to get that land smooth around the shed, so I just hired an in-game worker. Maybe in-game workers always had names on them, and I just forgot because it's been so long since I used them. I would say I've been using Courseplay ever since it came out, and not used the base game workers at all. Alright, our first crop field that we have planted, barley. So this should be ready next June, which seems like ages away. If I need to buy straw bales, I will. They're not too expensive. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about is that $22,000 right now a month in loan interest. And I might be borrowing more money back on that So that could go up. But at least now I do have a baseline of what we are dealing with. I'm going to fold this up. I'm just going to leave it right here for now. I said detach. Probably couldn't detach because we were still folding on up. Just looking at the grass field. The texture underneath the grass field looks a little weird. That looks like a different grass texture than the base game one. So that's kind of interesting. I like it though. I like it pretty darn good. So you can see our expected yields is 112% out of out of 100 because we got crop rotation. I think if I rolled the field, I would get that because crop rotation says 115%. So yield potential is 100. If I rolled it, I could probably get the 115%, but it's 112. But yeah, I'm not rolling. I'm not a roller. All right, I was backing up to get the plow. But before we start creating a field, we're going to go ahead and mow the field and make some hay bales. Conditioned grass is basically what I should be doing, but I got plenty of areas to get conditioned grass right now. Let me bring up the HUD again because I got to see where exactly I am here. Okay, so everything in front of the pond. All right, so the front of the pond here, we're going to make this into another barley field. But yeah, before I plow it, we're going to go ahead and grab our mower. And we are not going to bale it. I'm just going to go ahead and mow it. So when I first do it, because I didn't really show it off too well yet, we're going to leave. You can see on the left-hand corner, the helper HUD. I hit the Z key or Z key, however you want to say it. Right now it's without conditioner. So this is part of the Maizeplus. So without conditioner, I mow the grass. Oh wait, I'm still on swath. Let's go ahead and change that to widespread. You can see how green this grass is. Now, they actually call this grass... wait a minute. Let me go ahead. The best way for me to do that is to do this. They actually call this grass... grass fresh. So, if I turn on the conditioner, we'll get grass conditioned. But we're going to get grass fresh here. Because I kind of want to show off what the tedders can do. Basically. It's kind of weird that the mower doesn't get rid of the brush, but that's fine. So of course we'll have to come in here after we get the, make our hay bales. We'll have to come in here. I'll plow this area. And of course we'll have to do the usual soil sampling. That'll take a second. And then of course spread some line down and then get the barley in. So we can get a good amount of straw. The potato field, I'm not quite sure yet where that's going to go. Just, I didn't plan this far ahead when I was starting the Let's Play. I was like, all right, I was just testing some things out. And like, this will be a good start, and just go from there. I was still kind of hoping when I saw the way the grass was coming out, I thought it was going to be like in Seasons in 19 to where the grass moisture all determined what type of grass it was. And sometimes you had to wait with the conditions of the weather on a sunny day, windy day, that if you wanted to make hay, that was the best time to do it. You would have to leave the grass out there for like 6, 7, 8 hours to turn from one type of grass to another. But this, it doesn't matter too much. You just need a tedder, and you can pretty much make any type of grass that you want. with the grass field all mowed, let's go ahead and bring our Big M over here. And I hope I don't have to drive it in here to repair it. Do I actually have to drive it in here? If I turn on interactive zone markers, I didn't see anything on the floor before, like where the zone is. I mean, I can see the trigger. I mean, this door is big enough, I think, to get something like this in there. And I think I just heard the little noise it makes when you enter a zone. There we go. $26. All right, let's go ahead and repair it. See, I actually have to drive it in here. That's not too bad, though. It's a big door. I think everything that we have shall fit in there. The only thing I'll have a hard time getting in there is a header, so hopefully, like if it's on the combine and I back the combine on in, I'm hoping that it will sense the header and get that taken care of as well. Alright, let's grab the JCB and we'll go grab the tedder and we'll start tedding the wet grass, or fresh grass, as they're calling it, I believe. I'm probably going to get stuck calling it the grass like it was in seasons of 19 of wet grass, semi-wet grass, and then hay. I am also going to put some thought into it as well. With that much of a loan payment at midnight, maybe put down something that earns us some cash, because we're not going to be making cash here for a while. But maybe put down something that gives us some passive income. We got some of that in the form of the solar panels on the sheds. I just don't know how much a month we're getting from them currently. Oh, this is the... Sorry, I don't want the windrower. Let me drop that off there. Luckily with the JCB we can fly on back 200 meters to get this, to get the tedder. So you don't need no modded tedders for this. Maizeplus will add this to all base game tedders. The option of how to ted the grass. Well, you ted the grass the same way. It's just that what comes out the other end of the tedder. So in the base game, you'll just get, you know, you just mow the grass, and then when you ted it, it turns the grass into hay. Well, here we're going to have different options. That's a nice big tedder. So you can see if I hit the Y key, it's tedder stage is base game. So it's going to take the grass. Can I not? Ooh, that's interesting. That doesn't do anything for base game. Probably because it doesn't sense that this is wet grass. If I do conditioned, there we go. So if you leave that on base game, it's not going to do anything with the grass on the ground because it doesn't recognize the vehicle implement. The implement itself does not recognize the grass. So yeah, if you're putting down fresh grass, so now I got it set to conditioned grass, which I could get just with the Big M by putting it on conditioned. But we want to make hay, so now I want to flip this over to semi-dry. There's semi-dry grass. But we want to make hay. So now you can see the different stages of grass that we have. So we got hay, we got semi-dry, what was that, fresh grass? Yes, fresh grass. Now, if you feel like you made a mistake, it's not that big of a deal. Let me lift this on up, we'll turn it off. Let me back on up here. So say like, oh, I wanted to make hay from the get-go. I can put this down, turn it back on, and it'll take all that grass that I had conditioned to semi-dry and turn it all over to hay. Now, the one thing I just crossed my mind is, can I back TED this? Meaning, say I didn't want to make hay. Say I wanted to make semi-dry. So, yeah, even if you make a mistake, it'll turn it back to semi-dry grass. So, yeah, the option with Maizeplus is you can make any type of grass or hay that you want. And if you make a mistake, well, just switch it on back. Just make sure you don't have it on base game. So now all we need to do... I got it on hay, right? Yeah, okay. Make sure I got it on hay. Not that it's a big deal. We can always go back and make it to something else. But we need hay to make TMR for the cows for the winter. Now, in theory, this is what I say about Maizeplus and the animal food add-on that makes this kind of interesting to how much realism you want to put into the game. So, really, the conditioned grass will cover all 4 food groups for the cows. So I can just take our Big M mower and put that on condition, because we can cut that into conditioned grass and make nothing but conditioned grass bales, store them, and just keep feeding them to the cows. But I'm going for a little bit more realism to where in the winter, you know, really grass bales will decompose. So hay bales won't decompose. I don't know what the rate hay bales decompose at. It's very slow, but they will decompose, but not as fast as grass bales. But yeah, we're just going to and do grass bales and silage to make TMR. Now, once we start making TMR and we get the TMR mixer, when you see the options for there, you'll see how many different ways you can make TMR. The first time I saw it blew my mind. At first I was like, I got to put all that in there to make TMR. And it's like, no, these are the options you have. There's many different recipes to make TMR. And by the way, TMR stands for Total Mixed Rations. I always got to remind myself once in a while that not everyone is familiar with Farming Simulator and what maybe some of these terms are. So, got to remind myself that just saying TMR, someone might be saying, I don't know what TMR means. Alright, let me get this tedded up, then we'll windrow it, which shouldn't take too long. And then, of course, we'll make some bales. Oh, I do see where I'm missing... Okay, I had the same problem on No Man's Land every once in a while where the tedder would miss little spots. And if you go at a different angle, it gets them. Interesting. Let me go ahead and get this tedded on up, switch over to hay. Then we'll get the windrower, make a couple passes, make a couple of swaths. Then we'll have to get our baler. You know the routine. And then eventually I can start plowing an area here to put down some more barley. We are going to have more fields, of course, for grain. I don't actually have to get them done this month, but I think just getting these 2 fields of barley in, at least. And then, of course, then we'll start expanding more to make a couple of bigger fields. I can always put wheat or something like that down and in. But eventually, we got to make some nice fields for potatoes and maybe some corn as well. Making some nice hay swaths for our baler to pick on up. See how it does with these swaths. Me and balers don't seem to be getting along too well recently. If the swath is too big, it doesn't pick it up all the way, but see how it goes on forward. I do think we'll be getting more tractors as we go along here. One more for sure. And then maybe in the distant future, once we get enough fields going, possibly 2. One will be a John Deere, because when we were doing the premiere of Hinterland on Saturday, someone wanted... Well, they actually wanted me to go all John Deere, which I definitely will never do. I'm not a John Deere fan, but I have no problem getting a John Deere here and there. I don't think I'll ever go all one brand on a farm. I think I've seen some YouTubers do that before, but I like getting the variety of equipment and different type of brands. To me, that's a more interesting, I think. But to each their own. But yeah, but a John Deere, maybe I don't know if I want to go to an 8R. That might be too high. We got the case, we got the JCB, and in the future, We may be getting a 9 series. I don't know if it's going to be a New Holland. I don't know if it's going to be a Case or even the John Deere, or maybe, I don't know. So maybe like a 6 or 7R John Deere in the future to run something like the Tedder, the Windrower, that kind of stuff. We don't need big stuff on everything because that's overpowering everything. And no sense in spending that much kind of money on a tractor for too much horsepower than what we need. And what am I doing there? I don't want the lime spreader. I want my baler. I'm trying to think if I ever used a shed this big. This is a pretty big shed for darn sure. I'm liking it though. Alright, I wonder if this is going to switch it all over to hay right away, or how long does it have to go before it does switch over. And went right over to hay. I am on 240s. 240s we are on. And we are using the silage additive, so that's going to add 5% to what we pick up. So of course we can use hay to feed the sheep in the winter time. But the one thing hay will not do with the sheep is it will not fill up all 4 categories of the feed trough. I think it does 3, but not all 4. But as long as we're giving them something to eat, right? This is mainly for the cows to make TMR with silage. And I do have to make more silage bales. But since we're going to be making more fields in this month, we'll be cutting the grass first so I can wrap those on up. I know one thing though, starting this series, I get into recording an episode, and then I look over at the timer and I realize how long I've been recording. That's why these episodes have been going an hour, and if I didn't catch my stopwatch in time, they could be going on for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Time flies when you're really enjoying what you're doing. I always love starting on a new map because there's so much to do, so much to get started. I don't want to say it's a grind to get the farm to where you're actually making money, but it's a fun process of, I don't know why I find it fun to, I don't want to say we're going to struggle here, but for the first like year or two, like you said, I said 27, was it 27,000 the loan interest for $6.5 million? We're not making that money, and I don't have nothing to sell currently. And it's not like I can go around doing contracts either, because there's 3 fields, we own them all. So it's not like I can go do a contract and do this or that, and we haven't made no products to sell. And it's going to be a while before we have products to sell. It's starting to remind me a little bit like Pacific Northwest in 19 with a $55 million loan payment to repay, and that loan interest I want to say was $165,000 a night sleeping. So no stranger to that, but at least there we started with a lot of fields and big equipment. We just had to pay off 55, I don't say a lot of fields, it was just barely enough fields to actually make that challenge work. And it took a while to get going, but once we started paying off that loan, it got better and better and better, like it always does. I just got to figure how I want to approach this, because we're really not going to have any crops for another year. Because basically, you got to, we got that small field of soybeans, I believe it is, to harvest. Yeah, we had a little bit of wheat and a little bit of canola to make into products, but that's not gonna cover what we have to deal with. So yeah, we got to plant everything, and harvest time won't be until next June before we start doing the barley. So, and then of course it's got to be made into flour, and then the flour price is not good until November. So it's like another year before we actually sell anything. Well, so far so good. I picked up most of the swaths, as you can see. So not too bad. But, like I was just saying, I've been recording long enough. This one may go over an hour again. Like an hour, hour, 10 minutes, something like that. But I will pick up these hay bales, put them into storage. When I say storage, put them on the ground somewhere, basically, and get ready to make some TMR come wintertime. But this will be what I mowed. This will be a field at the beginning of the next episode. I may be spreading some lime in it again, and then we'll get maybe Frank or Frank Jr., whoever, to come over here and put some barley in here. But let me go over here, and I want to check on the cows. So I want to make sure that the manure pit is working, that we're close enough. We're actually gathering the manure. I mean, we had 2 cows, and it hasn't even been a full month yet. Do we have manure? We do. And we got 1,583 liters of manure. When I was putting down this texture, it said water puddle, mud, or something like that. And when I was putting it down at the height we're at, it didn't look like there was any water into it. But now I come on down here, and it looks like a skating rink. So, may change it up here in the future. Of course, they got water, no milk. So, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but these cows will not give milk until they're, I think, 22 months old. So we buy them when they're 18 months old. You know, in the future, instead of coming in here, because they're going to take a lot of straw, I could probably just drive the baling trail in here with a whole bunch of straw bales and just drive over this, and they will take what they take. And we do have some slurry as well. So the slurry goes to the BGA. The manure goes to the BGA. Yeah, so I'm going to have to get a tanker for the slurry. I'm going to buy a tanker for the milk. So we're going to have 2 more tankers. So even though we got $1 million in the bank account, we still got to buy a whole bunch more stuff. That could also be the root crop harvester, the header. Got to buy the header for the combine, which is going to be expensive. That's going to be $250,000 in itself, because I'm going to dress that thing up nicely. Get all the additions on it. It doesn't help it at all, but it's going to make it look good. And we'll get the ideal up and running. And yeah. And in a couple months, we'll actually have a grass field to harvest and get a good yield off of it. So yeah, not too bad. More buildings being bought. And we got the loan is $6.5 million. $6.5 million. So we did make $1,300 off the solar panels last month. Not a whole lot, but it's going to be something. And that was like maybe half a month. So hopefully we can get that working a little bit better for us. So yeah, don't look at the numbers over here. A lot of things. I mean, I had to sell that shed and potato production and put it back down and then add the money back in. So those totals are going to look a little bit weird. Yeah, but not too bad, though. We're moving along nicely, I think. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching, as always. I'll catch you again right here in Hinterland. But until then, have a good one.